Why?
The smartphone you see here is probably one of the cheapest 5G smartphone in the world, and it is called Redmi Note 10 5G. If you watched my regular Redmi Note 10 review, it looked almost similar to that smartphone, except it has some different color options and the price is $50 higher than that. But to give 5G this smartphone, Xiaomi had to cut down some features bit by bit from this smartphone. That we'll talk about later, but at first let's take a look at the unboxing. I have the 4GB RAM and 128GB storage variant, but you can get 64GB storage and 6GB RAM variants too. Anyway, opening up the box, you will get a SIM ejector pin, a transparent silicone case, and some paperwork. Then I have the blue color variant of the smartphone that looks beautiful to me, and the bottom part we have 22-watt charger and a USB-C cable. Okay, at first if we look at the design, it is nothing but the regular Redmi Note 10. It has the same matte finished plastic back part with plastic body. The back part is fairly fingerprint resistant. It does not feel heavy considering it has 5000 mAh battery. It has steel 3.5mm headphone jack with an IR sensor. It also has two microphones for better noise reduction. It has a hybrid dual SIM card slot where you can use two SIM card or one SIM with a microSD card. And I'm not complaining about the single speaker here. It's loud and good enough for the price. But as always, I don't like the side-mounted fingerprint sensor as it unlocks the phone with some accidental touch. So I recommend you to enable press to unlock from settings to avoid this problem. Okay, if you watched my regular Redmi Note 10 review, you might already know that Xiaomi is having some difficult times with their software especially. But I think in this smartphone, Xiaomi tried to hide something too. Like, as this smartphone is called as the Redmi Note 10 5G, people might think that, oh, this is probably a 5G variant of that regular Redmi Note 10 with some extra features like 90Hz display and a 5G chipset in it. But in reality, it is not true because it actually lacks a lot more than that. Like this one has a 22-watt fast charger as opposed to 33-watt, and more importantly, it supports only 18 watt of charging speed, which means it takes a lot more time to charge. The vibration motor sucks. If you look at the camera module, it looks like it has the exact same camera setup as Note 10. Even sometimes you might think it has 4 or 5 camera modules with dual tone LED flash. But in reality, it has only single tone LED flash and it has 3 cameras. But truly in real life, you can only use one sensor from this because it does not even have an ultra-wide sensor. I'm not telling the image quality is bad, it actually takes some pleasing images with good color temperature and vibrant color. One thing to note here, when I capture images without focusing on the subject, it captures a decent amount of details. But if I capture images exposing to the darker areas, it almost finds no details in the images. It is soft everywhere, image does not look that pleasing. And if you look at the 48 megapixel shots, it comes out with a lot of noise even in daylight. For selfies though, it almost does the same thing. It has decent color, contrast with good dynamic range, but it lacks details in the rear camera. And for portrait, it has very good edge detection, but it has dull color, poor skin tone and blown out sky highlights. Now in low light, it did make sure that no highlight is blown out. And it wiped out the existence of every noise from every pixel. Overall, very impressive camera performance overall. But every time when I tried to capture an image with this smartphone, I always felt the necessity of an ultra-wide lens. And besides this ultra-wide lens, it does not have all the necessary features in the camera settings too, like vlog, clone and many more we see in Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite. Anyway, in video section, it can shoot only 1080p 30fps and the stability was as good as Redmi Note 10. But I wish every phone in 2021 should have at least 4K videos. Actually, I don't know why this smartphone does not offer those features. Maybe it does not have a proper chipset for that because it uses the Dimensity 700 5G chipset for this smartphone. And if you look at the Geekbench score, it has a decent scores in that, and in stress test it goes down to 70% efficiency within a minute. It really does not perform as expected in real life. Sometimes it has noticeable latency in touch response. I have seen this MIUI lagging here and there. Sometimes it takes too much time to open an app. And talking about apps, the calling and messaging app is now replaced by Google ones instead of MIUI's own version of it. Still, you can get MIUI options like call recording and change noise reduction from settings. I'm not telling that the call quality here is perfect, but it is better now with the clearer vocals. But I have noticed very unnatural things in this smartphone, and that is with the Wi-Fi performance. I have a 100 Mbps connection, and in my other devices I normally get like 80 to 90 Mbps speed, but with this smartphone I can barely get 30 to 40 Mbps speed. So if you have a very higher connection of Wi-Fi, you might struggle with the speed of this smartphone. I don't know whether it is the problem with my unit only or every other unit does the same, but yes, I found a Wi-Fi problem in this smartphone. Now, in some other high-end tasks like gaming on this smartphone was not that bad. I could play Asphalt 9 in highest possible settings and there was a lot of frame drops. So I'm not suggesting you to play Asphalt 9 at highest possible settings. So I toned down to the default settings and I could play Asphalt 9 in a playable way. But I had a very weird issue with Asphalt 9 in this smartphone because Asphalt 9 got crashed or wiped out from memory while playing. It's like you are playing Asphalt 9 and suddenly it's got out of nowhere. I don't know why this is happening. Maybe this is because of the Xiaomi's aggressive MIUI's RAM management problem. So this is not a very Asphalt 9 gaming smartphone. But if you want to play PUBG, I could play PUBG very well in this smartphone. In PUBG, we could play HD graphics and high frame rate. It was completely playable and I could find no kind of frame drop or any kind of heating issues in this smartphone. I could play I have played PUBG for an hour and the smartphone could handle it without any issues. Same thing goes for Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a very stable performing game, so there is not gonna be an issue for this smartphone. But for sure, if you want to play Asphalt 9, this smartphone is not for you. This smartphone is not yet optimized for Asphalt 9 playing well. Now, when you play games or scroll through social media, this 90Hz display makes it a lot smoother. Now, you can enable frame rate indicator, which shows the UI is not yet ready to adjust frame rate according to the content or movement. Sometimes you will see the colors are not right, especially with the white feels like gray sometimes. It is a sign of bad display, and that is because like the regular Redmi Note 10, it does not have an AMOLED display. Yes, it's an IPS panel. I'm not telling that the IPS panels are bad, but in this smartphone, in this Redmi Note 10 5G, the panel is not the best possible qualities. Although I liked the fact that it can go pretty bright in harsh sunlight and it has Corning Gorilla Glass 3, which is very good for scratch resistance. Okay, lastly I can say if your budget is $220 and your priority is display, performance, camera, etc., then I don't think this Redmi Note 10 5G is a perfect smartphone for you. There are a lot other smartphones in this budget that can fill your necessities. But if your budget is around $200 strictly and you need 5G, then I think this Redmi Note 10 5G is a deal breaker for you. You can definitely go for this. So for today, I think you have enjoyed the video so far. And if you enjoyed the video so far, please consider like this video and subscribe to this channel. So for today, টাটা বাই বাই, দেখা হবে পরের কোনো ভিডিওতে।